Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Arakah Kodash. Double honors unto the elder apostles of Great Millstone, all well. And shalom to the hopeful elect. This is Baya Allah. This is news and prophecy news update. The date today is the 27th of August 2025. The hopeful year of destruction, judgment, and deliverance, or judgment, destruction, and deliverance. And being ordained to present this truth, all right, through the blessing of the gift of faith, all right, and belief of the the true wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the Bible, Holy Bible. I, as many other men all over the earth, through the teaching of Great Millstone, been set up to basically watch, watch as well as pray, keep a watchful eye over the flock, and make it known unto you all the various different things, excuse me, that are due to unfold on this earth. Alright, so I got this one article from the independent.co.uk, and this is in, right now, we're dealing with gradualism, alright? This gradualism isn't to the point of, slow succession of events. This is, things that are rapidly racking up, accumulating to build up to the time of Jacob's trouble, the hour of temptation, alright, basically to the end of this world, whereby you're going to have to make a choice, whether you want to take that C-hip, alright, or, let go and let God, as they say, alright, and see what happens. And this is why we do these works right now, because this is like building up a defense, alright, a deposit into your savings account with the Heavenly Father of works that you've done, whereby He will defend you and look over you. And hopefully we're part of the elect, alright, as it tells you in the book of Revelation, the 2nd chapter, having tribulation 10 days, and then being delivered. And it says, like, be faithful unto death. So even if you have to die, that's where it is, man. Alright, so this right here is hot off the snowballing of the various different things that are happening, as far as since Trump's coming to office, dealing with immigration, ICE, dealing with crackdown on war, crime with various states, and the bringing about of what do you call these things, of internment camps that they say is for the migrants, to be made ready for them to be shipped back to their countries. Now, with all these different things that are happening, this is setting up the infrastructure for the time of Jacob's trouble, alright, whereby you have internment camps for mass chipping, but then also mass imprisonment, mass beheading, alright, and then police state, whereby, everyone will be watched. And then that's dealing with the big beautiful bill, alright, with the information in that, as far as, it's still being broken down, but there's some excerpts that I've seen, videos I've gone into, not videos I've done, but videos I've watched, as far as concerning it, to mind right now. I'm trying to remember, I think I posted some stuff on my page. If not, I know I was mulling over a couple things as regarding that, and it all works in line with building up, presenting data, making all the citizens in America's data available for their their beast system ultimately, so they can monitor you and decipher who's who. All right. So without further ado, from the independent.co.uk, headline reads: Trump mobilizing up to 1,700. Well, excuse me. Trump mobilizing up to 1,700 National Guard troops in 19 states to widen crime and immigration crackdown. Deployments reportedly set to take place largely in Republican-controlled states. All right. So it says the Trump administration reportedly plans to mobilize up to 1,700 National Guard troops across 19 states in the coming weeks. That's around about, if we evenly spread it, around about probably what between 105, 110 each state. I believe it may add up to. I'd say about 105 between 105, 110, give or take, somewhere to within a decimal, I guess. Within a few decimals, I guess so. In the coming weeks, to support its immigration and anti-crime crackdowns, a dramatic expansion of controversial operation that's seen federal agents and guard troops carrying out activities across Washington, D.C. The troops, who will largely be activated across Republican-controlled states, will serve in support of the administration's immigration and customs enforcement operations, as well as other law enforcement priorities, according to the comment from unnamed Pentagon officials and documents obtained by Fox News. The guardsmen assisting ICE will be carrying out tasks that may include personal data collection, fingerprinting, DNA swabbing, and photographing of personnel in ICE custody, an official told outlet. Right. So this is and we can see this is a full court press in terms of internationally. As far as over here in the UK, immigration is a big, big, big deal. All right. And they've been working, I'd say, the rumor mill, the hearsay, and as far as immigrants over into the UK, which, see it here, most of them are traveling over the Channel C, all right, from France, Calais, all right, and a lot of them, the French are allowing them to get, because they don't want them in their country, so they're allowing them to travel over to the UK so they can be dealt with over here, all right. Now, with that being said, this is something that's, gaining legs and gaining more traction. And I was saying it at the camp, that going back as far as 2020, some point during 2020, and this I know is part of the agenda, they started housing migrants in a hotel right by where one of the main nightlife spots is. And when I say night, I mean for the last, that place has been popping since 2007, 8. I remember I got told about it, from them times. I never went there. I knew about a food market because I went there right before I come in the truth, actually. I went there. And then what happened? Then, from say 2012, 2013, it's been like the main place for nightlife in London. All right, people travel from America, Europe, everywhere. They come to party there. All right, and you got your little exclusive places within that place. All right, I'm speaking about Shoreditch. All right, so but now it's like a ghost town, and they in that hotel. Because I noticed it when I was around the area, that I was thinking, who are these people? They've never been there before. But it's part, they're building up the rhetoric, and that's at the turn of the decade, all right, 2020. So these things, these individuals being plotted in these hotels is generating a lot of animosity amongst, the so-called English and those um, within society. It's actually fracturing society. And as you know, over here in the UK, a lot of people are migrating. And even if you're born and raised, British, there's like, the people over here like to, try and talk like you're not British. Where else could I be from? All right. Yeah, I'm an Israelite. I'm aware of that, but the places of the lineage I go back to, I can't. If I go there, they're gonna look at me like, no, you're English. You're not one of us. All right. Just like over in America, it was so called, black African Americans. Negroes went back to Negro land on the west coast of Africa, sub-Sahara Africa. What are they gonna say to them? No, you're African American, all right? Because there's a cultural difference, all right? But these things are being done to create a great amount of tension and to culminate to the time of Jacob's trouble, and that's the same thing that's going on over in America. So it says a guardsman assisting ICE will be carrying out tasks that may include personal data collection, fingerprinting, DNA swabbing, and photographing of personnel in ICE custody, an official told outlet. The deployments will take place across the following states: Alabama, Arkansas, Florida, Georgia, Idaho, Indiana, Iowa, Louisiana, Nebraska, Nevada, New Mexico, Ohio, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Virginia, Wyoming, per Fox. All right. So it says Texas is reportedly slated to have the largest deployment. Okay, so the numbers ain't all even then, so it's gonna be some more than others. I'm guessing according to state size and requirements. The Independent has contacted the reported states for comment, as well as Central National Guard leadership and Department of Homeland Security. The Guardsmen will be serving under the Title 32, Section 502F or 502F authority, in which they technically remain under state command and control but can assist with federal missions and are paid with federal funds. The status allows them to avoid running afoul of a federal law limiting military involvement in domestic law enforcement. When asked about the reported operation, the Defense Department referred to the Independent to a July announcement from the Pentagon changing the status of troops supporting ICE to Title 32 and adding 500 additional personnel to the mission, bringing it to a total of approximately 1,700 troops. The statement said the troops could be involved in direct interaction with individuals in ICE custody, and that the mission stemmed from a May request from the Department of Homeland Security for assistance. Alright, so let me see if there's any points worth pointing out. Alright, one of the main points as well is that it says Nevada officials pointed the Independent to a Tuesday announcement from Governor Joe Lombardo, which described up to 35 Nevada National Guardsmen assisting DHS with vital clerical, administrative, and logistical support, ensuring there will be no direct contact with detainees, no law enforcement duties, and no weapons involved. Right, so you had the 2,000 that were recently deployed in I'm not sure if it's two. I forget the number. But down in DC, but they got deployed without weapons. But as time has progresses, they're arming them now, and they're changing their duties and their roles. This is all of a mission that's being done through the guys. They're basically saying they're not gonna have certain rights and whatnot. But as time goes on, they arm them with more rights. And all it really takes is an event to unfold for it to really go into a certain direction. And that direction of whereby, you know, emergency powers get enforced and these people are already there, ready to take, do what they want, the government wants them to do. All right. A spokesperson from Idaho National Guard. So they're all replying and they're all just pointing towards what Trump said. All right. So yeah, he did send 2,000 to Washington D.C. Okay. So it says, Washington residents overwhelmingly oppose the federal law enforcement operation there, according to polling. The operation has netted more than 700 arrests since beginning earlier this month, according to the Trump administration, though it hasn't released in-depth information about the identities or alleged offenses that formed this figure. All right. So this is, we're seeing the chess pieces being moved on the board and set up. All right. This is just very telling as far as where we stand within this time that we're in presently. All right. So, excuse me. This is 2 Corinthians 2:11. These sayings should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices, right? And this device that he's mainly using is our gradualism, right? When you see all these things happening, you should be, the question you should be asking is why, all right? And I like to, even in saying why, use a phrase they use, cui bono, which is Latin for who benefits. Anything that's done, you gotta think who benefits. Why would someone do that? Why would they do this? Why would they do that? And sometimes it might not. You might not have an outright answer. It's not. You shouldn't be presumptuous and just assume, oh yeah, this, that, and the other. But in this case, we have law, statutes, and commandments and prophecies. All right, which is the testimony of Yahweh Shai. Now, when you add these things, when you know the character of this man, Esau Edom, and you measure it up against the prophecies of this word, then you will know and understand that these things that are being done aren't being done in vain. And I'll read again, 2 Corinthians 2:11. These sayings should get an advantage of us, right? Satan, who is Satan? All right, Satan is the angel that serves an angel of the Heavenly Father that works on the left-hand side. All right, and his name, Satan, Shaitan, means adversary. All right, he opposes righteousness. So it says, in order for him not to gain an advantage of you, you can't be ignorant to his devices. And one of his devices is what? Is a forked tongue, sweet words. All right, smoother than butter. Words being smoother than butter. Now, National Guard, it tells you in the book of Proverbs, the tender mercies of the wicked are cruel. Now, this man's talking about immigration and crime crackdowns. This rhetoric, you gotta think, why is he talking about this? All right, and we're seeing the world over. There's a big push in terms of immigration, as far as a national ID. All right, which is, I believe, will be the next step in this whole scenario that's going on. Right, as well as that, crime crackdowns means that, even when you do, it's one thing with the immigration, national IDs, circling people, getting them out of the way, and these are people that are looked at as the base of society, that the scum that you want to get rid of. All right. Now, what you gotta remember is that it's not hard to get lumped into that as well. You had loads of so-called Northern Kingdom getting lumped into the immigration thing and getting shipped off, even when they've had done criminal offences 20 odd years ago. They're functioning as a regular civilian, and now they're being shipped off to these internment camps. And these administrative errors, no one's batting an eyelid at them because of their their evil, the wickedness within them. That they just feel like, yeah, fuck them, they can go, man. Fuck, get them out of here. Now, the the table's gonna turn, all right. And that same way you felt is now gonna be felt upon your own damn self, all right. As we always refer to over here with the movie City of Men, Children of Men. You had the German woman that was locked up in these makeshift prison cells, on the train station, and she was basically saying, like, why are you putting me, old white woman as well, why are you locking me up here with a black guy? All right, he's black. Why I'm German, a German white woman? Why are we in the same? But she's an immigrant as far as they're concerned. All right, so this is the type of things that are gonna happen. But then even when you go beyond that, it's with the crime. Now, if you, and this is why it's like anti-crime crackdowns. Crime is so broad. You could be a criminal for. We ain't got the crime over here, but it's the most lightest one I can think of. Jaywalking, crossing the road where you're not meant to, and now you're deemed a criminal. All right, just like the word insurgent. These type of words that they can label you with, that basically just because of the overarching um, overarching propaganda of a term, when someone actually peels back the layers and finds out what you've done, it might not be as as the spirit that's on that word. It might not be as deep as what that word represents, but you've been labeled with it. All right. So these things are being done by design, okay, to incriminate people and to offer, two things. The first thing with a migration and national ID, which will lead to the CHIP, the MOTB, and the B system being implemented, but then also criminalizing uh, the people, all right, whereby if you don't fall in line, you know, you're going to be ostracized and shunned from society. So it keeps everyone whipped in line. And that's how you can establish that police state. But let's see what happens, man. Let's see what happens. I mean, that's more or less the point. All right. Lord willing, you were edified with that. To the next one, say shalom.